Hello everyone, welcome to Easy English for Everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share to receive the latest videos. Now let's study together. Hello everyone. Welcome to a story about a very special place, Grandpa's Garden of Wisdom. Many people love visiting this place because it's full of peace, beauty and important life lessons. Our story is about a young boy named Tommy. Tommy lived in a busy city with tall buildings and noisy streets. Life in the city was fast, and people were always in a hurry. But Tommy's favorite place was far away, in the quiet countryside where his grandpa lived. Grandpa's house had a big garden, full of colorful flowers, fresh vegetables and tall trees. The air smelled sweet, and birds sang softly in the morning. Tommy loved spending summers there. Grandpa always had stories to tell and wise lessons to share. One day, while walking through the garden, Grandpa said, "Tommy, every plant has a lesson to teach. If you listen closely, you can learn something very special." Tommy's heart started to beat faster. Could this garden hold the secrets to a happy and successful life? Could Grandpa's wisdom help Tommy face his own challenges? Let's find out about Tommy's journey. In Grandpa's Garden of Wisdom, we will read his story in chapters. Each chapter will be short and easy to understand. We will learn new words and see how Tommy discovers important lessons about patience, kindness and hard work. Are you ready? Let's discover. Tommy was 10 years old. He was a bright boy full of energy, but he was also very impatient. Tommy wanted everything to happen fast. When he played board games with his friends, he often tried to rush his turn. When he helped his mom cook, he kept asking, "Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet?" His mom always smiled and said, "Good things take time, Tommy." But Tommy didn't like waiting. He wanted things now. Every Saturday, Tommy visited his grandpa. Grandpa lived in a cozy house with a big garden behind it. Tommy loved visiting Grandpa because Grandpa always told interesting stories. The house smelled like warm bread, and Grandpa's rocking chair creaked softly when he sat down to read the newspaper. On the walls were old, black and white photos of Grandpa as a young man, and Tommy always liked hearing stories about those days. But what Tommy loved most about Grandpa's house was the garden. It was big and beautiful. Neat rows of tomatoes, carrots and cucumbers grew there. Bright green beans climbed wooden poles, and sweet-smelling basil grew in a corner. The garden was always full of color, and Tommy loved running between the plants, pretending he was a jungle explorer. One Saturday morning, Tommy arrived at Grandpa's house feeling bored. His mom was working late and Tommy had nothing to do. "Grandpa, can we play checkers or watch TV?" Tommy asked. Grandpa smiled. "I have a better idea," he said. "Come help me in the garden. I'll teach you something important." Tommy groaned. "The garden? But that's boring." Grandpa laughed. "It won't be boring if you give it a try." Curious, Tommy followed Grandpa outside. The morning air smelled fresh, and birds were singing in the trees. Grandpa handed Tommy a small shovel and a packet of seeds. "We're planting new carrots today." Grandpa said, "I'll show you how." Grandpa knelt beside a row of soil and used his fingers to draw small lines in the dirt. "First we make little holes for the seeds," he explained. Tommy grabbed his shovel and started digging, but he dug too hard and dirt flew everywhere. "Whoa there, partner," Grandpa said with a chuckle. "Not too hard, the seeds need soft soil." Tommy tried again. This time, he dug carefully. Grandpa nodded. "That's better." Next, Grandpa showed Tommy how to place one tiny carrot seed in each hole. The seeds were small, almost like grains of sand. Tommy's fingers were clumsy, and he dropped 3 seeds in one hole. "Oops," Tommy muttered. Grandpa smiled. "That's okay. Just pick a few out and try again." They spent the morning planting carrots. When they were finished, Grandpa stood up, wiped his hands and said, "Now we water them and wait." "Wait?" Tommy asked. "How long?" "About 2 months." Grandpa said. Tommy's eyes widened. 2 months, that's forever. Grandpa chuckled again. "Good things take time, Tommy." He said, "Just wait and see." Tommy said he didn't believe Grandpa. Nothing good could take that long. He was sure those carrots would never grow, but Grandpa just smiled, patted Tommy's shoulder and said, "You'll learn something special soon enough." The next Saturday, Tommy returned to Grandpa's house. "Did the carrots grow yet?" Tommy asked eagerly. Grandpa chuckled. "Not yet, Tommy. But there's still plenty to do." Grandpa showed Tommy how to pull weeds from the garden. Tommy tugged at a stubborn weed, but it wouldn't move. "This thing is stuck." He grumbled, tried loosening the soil. Grandpa suggested. Tommy grabbed his shovel, dug around the weed, and pulled again. This time it popped right out. "That's better," Grandpa said. "See, sometimes you just need the right technique." Tommy felt proud for a moment, but after 10 more weeds he sighed. "This is too slow. Gardening isn't about speed." Grandpa reminded him, "It's about doing things carefully." Tommy frowned. He still didn't understand why Grandpa enjoyed spending so much time in the garden. Later that day, Tommy decided to help by watering the plants. He grabbed the hose and sprayed water everywhere. Too much, too fast. Some water splashed on Grandpa's shoes. "Whoa," Grandpa laughed. "You're watering me instead of the carrots." "Sorry," Tommy giggled. Grandpa knelt down to check the soil. "Easy now," he said. "Too much water can hurt the plants. They need just the right amount." "I don't get it," Tommy said. "Why can't the plants just grow faster?" Grandpa smiled. "Tommy, some things in life can't be rushed. Gardens need time, just like friendships, good cooking, and learning new things." Tommy still wasn't sure, but he liked spending time with Grandpa, so he kept coming back to help each Saturday. Each time Grandpa told a new story about fishing trips, about saving money for his first bike, or about waiting years before finding his favorite baseball glove in a dusty old shop. Week after week, Tommy worked in the garden. He still felt impatient, but he started to enjoy the routine, digging the soil, pulling weeds, and listening to Grandpa's stories. Slowly he began to understand what Grandpa meant. Good things take time. One Saturday, Tommy noticed something strange. The ground where they had planted the carrots looked dry and cracked. Tommy frowned. "Grandpa, I think the carrots are dead." Grandpa knelt beside the soil and poked a finger into the dirt. "Looks like they're thirsty." "But I watered them last week." Tommy protested. "Plants need regular care." Grandpa said, "If you forget about them, they struggle." Feeling bad, Tommy grabbed a watering can and gently poured water over the dry soil. "I won't forget again," Tommy promised. Weeks later, Tommy was pulling weeds when he saw something exciting. Tiny green leaves poking out of the soil. "Grandpa, the carrots are growing." Grandpa smiled proudly. "See, good things take time, Tommy." Tommy grinned. He finally understood. Every Saturday, Tommy kept helping in the garden, and soon the carrots grew taller and stronger. When harvest day finally arrived, Tommy proudly pulled up bright orange carrots from the soil. He felt proud and happy, knowing he had worked hard and waited patiently. That evening, Tommy's mom made carrot soup with their fresh harvest. As Tommy ate his dinner, he smiled. The carrots were sweet and delicious, better than anything he could have rushed. Tommy looked at Grandpa and said, "You were right, good things really do take time." Grandpa chuckled. "I knew you'd learn, partner." Years later, when Tommy became a father, his young daughter Lucy was just like him, full of energy and always in a rush. One day, when Lucy complained that her toy car track was taking too long to build, Tommy smiled and said, "Good things take time." Then he knelt beside her and showed her how to build a track, one piece at a time, as they played together. Tommy smiled, remembering his wise grandpa and the lessons from the garden.